What's the question? Did any of you all go on the Daniel diet since I suggested it last night? Nobody? Wow. I'm not a very good advertiser then. That's okay. It was just a suggestion. Ready? Tell us about tonight. Okay, well, I'm going to keep on about Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Yeah. They sound like a basketball team. They kind of do. So you see now, after Daniel and Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, after they came to the palace to serve King Nebuchadnezzar, because they looked so mighty and good, the king had a dream. Oh no, we need another guy. That other guy with the dreams. Joseph or somebody. Like the people of those days, the king thought that his dream had a meaning, but he could not even remember what the dream really was. Well, that was hard to detect. He called in his magicians and wise men and asked them to tell him what his dream meant. And they said, "Oh, king," the wise man said, "if you could tell us about your dream, we could tell you what it means." And he says, "I do not remember the dream." The king said in anger. He's being angry at himself. And either you can tell me my dream or its meaning, or I will have you torn limb to limb. The guy just needs to, chill. The wise men, they looked at one another like, what are we going to do? But none of them knew what to say. I mean, how can you describe something you haven't been told about? Good question. Well, King Nebuchadnezzar, he grew more and more furious, waiting on them to answer it's all his fault. And finally he sent them from the room and ordered that they all be killed. Man, he has temper. He needs that temper management like that other guy should have had. Now Daniel and his friends, they were known to be wise men, and the captain of the king's guard arrested them so he could kill them too. I know how the story goes. Yeah. And why is the king so angry with us? Daniel asked in surprise. And when he found out what the trouble was, he asked to see the king himself. "King Nebuchadnezzar," he said, "give me a little time, and I will ask my God to show me the meaning of your dream, even though you can't remember it yourself. Jeepers, when you wake up, write those things down. Anyway, please do not kill us, the wise men, yet." So Nebuchadnezzar agreed to wait and give Daniel a little time. You're doing the clock again, aren't you? Yeah, I'm taking away time. And then he came back to tell him the dream. And that night, Daniel and Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego, they prayed really hard and prayed to God to show them the meaning of the king's dream. Like, please, we need some help here. Unless God, he showed Daniel clearly what he was to say to the king. Daniel? He must have been the favorite one. Sounds like. So when Daniel, when he came back to the king, he told him all about his dream. He should have said, "Does this sound familiar?" It was a strange dream about a statue, and it told of the kingdoms that would rule the world in the future. That wasn't a very eventful dream. I know. Nebuchadnezzar was surprised that Daniel knew all these things, because he didn't know them himself. And he could tell that they were true. Even though he was the highest ruler in the land, he bowed before Daniel and said, "Truly your God is the God of all the gods, to have shown this mystery to you." Yeah, well, that was easy to tell. Now, see this Nebuchadnezzar dude? He did not really understand about the true God that the captives of Judah worshipped, He was used to the mainly idol gods of Babylon, yeah. And he thought that the Israelite God, the one we worship, he was just another one of those, just one in a long line. And even though he was the great one, he did not understand that he was the only one. Yeah, like that. I emphasized. I can tell. Yeah, she's looking at me funny. And knowing this, we can understand why Nebuchadnezzar built idols and gods for his people to worship. One of these was a great gold statue see, that's not a good thing to do. All over the kingdom, it was proclaimed, when you hear the sound of all the musical instruments, you must fall down and worship the gold god, the gold idol of Nebuchadnezzar. What if you were too far away and you couldn't hear it? Watch the people around you. What if you were deaf? Watch the people around you. Okay, well, anyone who disobeyed will be thrown into the fiery furnace. Okay, so here we go. After that, whenever the music sounded, everyone looked towards the great gold statue and bowed his head toward the ground. Well, you know that is everyone but 3 bowed to the ground. Yes, Daniel's 3 friends stood straight and tall, even when they heard the music. They bowed only before the true God, like, beside their bed at night for prayers. And when Nebuchadnezzar heard that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had disobeyed his command, you know how he felt about that. He grew very angry. I will give you one more chance to obey me and bow down to this idol, he said to them. But the 3 men still refused to worship the golden statue. They are not set in their ways. They are just faithful. Okay. This made Nebuchadnezzar angrier than ever. Make the furnace 7 times hotter than ever before, he commanded, and throw these men into it. Oh, yikes. This is not going to come out good. Yes, it will. You read the story tonight? Yep. Oh, okay. She says it's going to be okay. Hang in there. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were tied and thrown into the furnace. And when the door was opened to toss them in, the heat was so terrific that it burned to death the soldiers that were holding them. Ooh, they kind of got sucked into a bad situation. Nebuchadnezzar, he stood at a distance. He's smart. And he watched as the 3 men were shoved into the flames. Are you sure this is going to turn out good? Trust me. Then he stepped as close as he could, and he looked in again through the open door. Something was very strange. Did we not throw 3 men into that furnace? He asked those who stood around him. That is true, great king, they replied. Well, I see 4 men in there now, he cried. They are loose and walking around. They're having a talk as if they were not hurt. And one of them even looks like a god. Must have been glowing. Then Nebuchadnezzar, he called out, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out of there. He thinks they can do that? Yeah. The 3 young men, they just they stepped out from the furnace and walked towards King Nebuchadnezzar. I bet you they weren't even sweating. That's funny. I'm sorry. I'll be serious. Everybody gathered around them, but they could not see that neither their clothes nor their bodies had been burned a little bit, not even singed. And they did not even smell like smoke. Yeah, they should smell like a barbecue. But Nebuchadnezzar, he turned to the crowd around him and said, Oh, blessed be the God of these men, the one who sent an angel to save them when they refused to worship any other. Hear this. Anyone who speaks against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be punished. For there is no other God who can do a thing like this. And afterwards, Nebuchadnezzar, he promoted What's that?
He gave him a raise.
Oh, he gave him a raise. And the 3 captives from Judah, to even a higher position in his court. Yep. And there's the story. You don't have to be a marshmallow.
What?
Yeah. They were going to be marshmallows. But they, you know. God fixed that one. Mm-hmm.
And what else?
It's going to do a lot